Hey church family, it's Pastor Jared, and it's Labor Day weekend. Labor Day was first established in 1894 by Congress, and they did that in order to honor and recognize workers in the country who contributed to the well-being of society. I agree with the premise behind Labor Day, and I wanted to take that and put it into our church context today to recognize those who do a great work and laboring for Jesus. Our labor for God is not in vain. So thank you for serving Jesus alongside us here at First Baptist Church, and thank you, whoever you are, whatever you do, you are making a difference, and you're helping to fulfill the mission we have here at First Baptist Church. That mission is to love God and others, to grow in our faith and in friendships, and to serve God by serving our community. We are loving, growing, and serving together, and we could not do it without you. Starting here on the stage, we have musicians and instrumentalists and singers who practice weekly and lead us in worship. Our worship team does a great job serving Jesus together. And listen, they're led by Carrie, who's doing a great job putting together the order of service and leading us corporately in worship. But it's important to know, even though they're on stage, they're not here performing. They're truly worshiping. It's a continuation of their worship lifestyle, and they are worshiping Jesus and helping us to worship him together. Here, as I'm walking through the aisles of our church, I think of the people who serve Jesus by walking down these aisles, like our ushers and our deacons who serve communion, or our ushers who are passing the offering plate, and people who are greeting and welcoming people. Thank you for being a friendly face here at First Baptist Church, welcoming our guests here at church. I also want to thank Pat and Frank Behrens, who every single week they are serving Jesus by folding bulletins for you each and every week and getting that ready. Thank you also, Pat, for your ministry of prayer and communicating important prayer needs as they come up for our people to be able to pray for people who have needs. And thank you to anybody as you get those emails from either Pat. Pat helps inform me a lot of times with the prayer needs, and then I send it to a broader our different church lists that we have. And if you receive those emails and you're praying on a daily basis, following our prayer guide, thank you so much for your ministry of prayer, interceding on behalf of others who have needs. Back here in our sound booth, in our tech room, we have our AV team. Denise leads up with the ear for sound, our sound issues that we have going on throughout the week, every Sunday. Ben helps to oversee our slide team and our video ministry that we have. Thank you also to Alana and Emma and my wife Abby for the sermon slides sometimes. She's back there. And Jonathan, Alan, thank you. And Joshua, these guys have been back there a few times and serving in the sound and tech booth. Also thank Ben and Carrie for leading our youth Sunday school class and Bible study each week. And I thank also Don Babcock, who's like clockwork shows up and he's able, gets the cleaning done here in the church. He's vacuuming, he's taking out the trash. Thank you also to his wife Karen, who helps, especially she comes and helps. They both mow and take care of the grounds outside, and they've done that for many years, and we appreciate you, Don and Karen. And then here in the office, I know Joyce and Thelma and Daphne come in weekly, and Claire helps also. These ladies who come in to the office on a regular basis, they help handle the financial records, they help handle the attendance and membership, and they're just updating things. Thelma, for example, just does a lot of odd and end jobs with me and helps me, and she's also coordinating the cemetery, and she takes care of the new ministry that she's launched, is the puppet ministry. So I appreciate each of these women who come in here throughout the week and serving Jesus on a regular basis. And thank you also to our finance committee and finance team and Vince for your leadership there in helping us make sure we're financially sound and serving Jesus as good stewards of the gospel and the resources that he's given us. So as we head outside, I just want to thank our cemetery committee and our building and grounds committee who help make sure that the property is taken care of. If you volunteer and come out for our cemetery work days, thank you for coming out and help cleaning up as well. Those are quarterly things that happen. And Joe Saprinsky helps to mow the lawn regularly, making sure that the property looks good in the back. as well. And then I'm moving into our Kids Zone section, and I think of our 10 or 11 workers that we have who volunteer in Kids Zone every single week. They're helping as teams. They come out on a rotating basis to help serve and our families and make sure that the kids hear the gospel and have some good messages and lessons, activities to take home each week. Thank you for those who are serving in that role. Hey, also thank you to Nancy here in the nursery, who's been leading, coordinating our nursery ministry for many years. Nancy, you are appreciated and making a big impact in families, especially in those vital, important, early formative years for the gospel work that you're doing. Thank you for serving so faithfully. And I also move in here to the Sunday school classroom for the ladies. I just used that nice new door. Thank you to those guys who were helping to put that together on our building and grounds crew, and for all the work that you do to keep our grounds looking good and in good shape. Our ladies ministry that helps to be coordinated through here, Bible studies that take place every single Sunday morning, led by Carol Bistarkey, and Claire Risley has been helping in that for many years. Thank you, ladies, for what you're doing and serving Jesus in Bible study groups. Thank you also to the men who are involved. I'm over here in the men's room now, and the men, Dan Bistarkey is leading here. Mike has been involved in that. You men who are faithful to come and study God's word together, thank you as well. Now, as we're in the fellowship hall, I think of Vince and his class here. These leaders take care every single week. They're studying, and just not the leaders, the people who are involved in these group ministries. There's responsibilities to study and to be involved and to make sure they know what the word says and be ready for the discussion. So it's good to see growth happening. Listen, this is a great ministry where growth happens. We are growing in groups together. And if you're not plugged into a group, I encourage you to get plugged in to a group. We also have our bread ministry that takes place every single week. We got bread available, and you can take advantage of that, take some home. But thank you to Mike and Claire, who help put out the bread here in the fellowship hall in the kitchen every single week on a regular basis. Thank you also. They help to serve and get our communion ready, and some of the other deacons have also prepared our communion so that we have that on the first Sunday of the month. And so thank you to you who are involved in getting that ready. And that's also, while I'm here in the kitchen, I'm thinking of our hospitality team. Sally helps to lead our hospitality ministry, and the group of givers and servants who help to make sure that all of our meals are prepared and ready, that we've got the supplies that we need, and they're making sure that we have good fellowship activities together. And that hospitality ministry also helps to serve people who have needs. When there's a surgery and they need extra meals, they help to coordinate getting those meals delivered. So thank you so much for the work that you do. 5 or 6 of our members are faithfully serving in those areas and helping to meet people's needs. Hospitality team is also our guest relations, and they're helping to follow up with guests and beginning to be better at our entire church. We want to have a better welcoming team together, and they're a big part of that. So thank you so much to our hospitality team for what you're doing. I'm outside here, and I can't help but think about our outreach here in this community. We need to be growing and reaching people with the gospel of Jesus Christ, and a very important part of doing that is by being the church and meeting our community's needs. And so when there's an area of need, like for example, a disaster that just happened, our church is faithful to give and to support to help reach people's needs, whether that's local or whether that's up the state like Matt is doing right now with One Mission Disaster Response. Thank you, Matt and Denise, for coordinating those relief efforts all the time on a regular basis when we have a need like that. I also want to say thank you if you're involved in our trunk or treat, our fall festival type event that we do each year, or maybe it's our Christmas programming that we do when we do our special candlelight service, or some other area of ministry that we have, special events in the spring or summer with our VBS. Whatever area you have been involved in outreach, whoever you are and whatever you do, you are vitally important. You are valuable. I see you and I appreciate you as your pastor. The last thing I want to say is most likely the most important thing, especially to me, very important. I could not serve as your pastor without the loving support and help of my family and my wife in particular. So thank you, Abby, for loving me and for being here by my side and supporting as we lead the church into where God has us to go. And thank you also to my kids, Emma and Alana in particular, get just by nature of being the pastor's kid, get pulled into some things probably that most people don't get to be involved in, but they still willingly serve and help, and they do it with a good heart. And so I'm so thankful for them, and I know Jeremiah is going to come right along in their footsteps and also help to serve here in the church as he grows. Well, we love you. We thank you so much, church family, for all you do to be the church in this area. We're going to keep on loving, growing, and serving together because we know that our labor is not in vain, and the God we labor for is worthy of all we can give. Thank you so much, church family, for all you do in serving Jesus here. God bless you, and happy Labor Day.